to Grown Women Talk. I'm Kia.
I'm Andrea.
And I'm Cheré.
You all, we're still celebrating our anniversary.
Yay!
We're celebrating our anniversary.
That's right.
And I think I forgot to tell you all last week to leave us a comment about which shows have been your favorite.
Yeah.
So please continue to do that, you guys, as we think about new programming, as we come up. We want to know what you all like to see and what you guys like to talk about. And of course, we're going to always talk about things that are on our mind.
That's
we
right.
want to touch on what you want to talk about too. And please, you guys, subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
And hit the bell so that you know when we put up new content. Okay?
And if you don't know how to comment on YouTube, comment on our new website.
Yes.
GrownWomenTalk.com.
Yay.
Yes, or to our email, and that's listed in the description box. So,
That's right.
you all, today we're so excited because, of course, one of our biggest tenets that we hold on to and that we talk about is hitting the reset button.
Yes.
And Cheré did her story.
She did.
I did my story on
Yes.
reset. In fact, I didn't even say it was one of my favorites, but we know that's one of the things that we hold true to us, our reset stories.
Yes.
And so today, Andrea is going to give you her reset story.
Yay.
And we're so excited, and we're a little sad because normally we have Cousin here with us who
For
makes a
reset.
special drink for us when we tell our story.
Yes.
She'll be back soon as we
Yes.
share with you, but at least we have a little bit of sweet water.
Yes, Sweet Walter, and
And
I've
our
said
special
before. That's right.
glasses,
That's right.
So that,
that's right.
Cousin.
yes.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
we are so excited to hear your story today, Andrea, as we encourage other people today to also hit the reset button. So we turn it over to
Well,
you.
thank you so much. So it's exciting, and it's been a long time coming.
Yes.
And for those of you who have seen Kia's reset, one of the things that she talked about was I had come into her office, and she was going on a theory of a word for a particular year, and I think that particular year it was faith. Yes. And I said, Kia, mine is reset. I've got a lot of things in the hopper, a lot of things going on, and you said, I like that.
Yeah.
And that's how, and it really, I said it, but I had no idea what was going to come behind the reset.
That's right.
But I'm forever thankful that it did, because my life has changed over the last year. And here's the other thing. There are a couple of things make sure you have friends who will speak into your life and who aren't afraid to speak truth to you.
So,
because one of the things you said, Kia, you said, Andrea, number one, I think your husband shared this with you about not being afraid. Yeah. And I say that everywhere I go, even if I am afraid. I'm like this. I'm like, I'm not afraid. You
That's
talking
right.
to me? I'm not afraid. And then one day in church, I had been having some challenges. Not physical. My mom, right before my son was born, had a stroke. And at the time, my father was living, and it totally changed the game for all of us. She had traveled around the world, all over the place, had more stamps in her passport than she had passport. So it just changed for us. And one of the things that my father was very good about, making sure she had the right kind of care, making sure her life was that she could disrupt aging if she needed to, so that he would help put systems in place. And so imagine me with a new baby, and my mother who now can't walk very well, who needs assistance for a significant number of things. But as God would have it, in rehab, she began to progress. And so it was very exciting. And so for several years after that, she resumed her traveling, that kind of thing. And then my father died. Mm-hmm. And after my father died, she lived alone. They had been together well over 40 years, and she lived alone. And so, but one of the things that her health started to decline. And, we had moved into a new house, the only house that my son had ever known. And we had, again, moved into a new house, but we could see the signs. And at least twice a week, I was being awakened by a paramedic. Your mother's sick, so I'd leave my family. At the time, we lived in a town close by, but I'd leave my family and come here, and either her neighbor was here or the paramedics were waiting for me so that we could go to the hospital. And so it just started it was all consuming, and not because she was sick, but just I was torn. I was leaving when I say worried, that's an understatement. But one day you had gone to church, and you said to me, Andrea, I don't know what's going to happen with your mother. I'm praying for her, praying for you. But one of the things your pastor at the time had said that if you could, try not to put your family in a home. And my mother had always had, they had homes, and she lived alone. And I began to have the conversation with my husband about selling our house, putting our house on the market, and what that would look like. Now, let me just say, we were at 5,000 square feet and 3 acres.
Wow.
So we had a lot of
Beautiful.
space.
Wow, yes.
5,000 square feet. I had more bathrooms than I had time to go. I had more closets than I had shoes or clothes to put in them. And this is not a point about bragging. It is about perspective.
That's right.
And it is about what becomes important. And we went back and forth, back and forth. At the time, my son was a teenager, and he's still a teenager, but started to become a teenager, and I began to have the conversation with him. And my husband we will do whatever we need to do to preserve your mother's life and make sure she has longevity. Talk to my brother, but I struggle because here I could do my own thing. It was just, this is the house that my son knew. And then you get caught up sometimes in status.
Yes.
What things look like.
Yeah.
If I downsize to 1,800 square feet, whatever, but we get...
I've been there.
But we get stuck in that place.
Yes.
And it was lots of prayer, lots of struggle, but not because I didn't want to take care of my mother. That was not it. But I was like, you know what? She can come live with us. And so we were preparing the house to come. We were preparing her house so that she could sell it and she could come live with us. And then it almost felt unfair to take her out of a neighborhood where everything was close to a neighborhood where she knew nobody. And we were just holding on to be holding on. Right. And either we were going to make a transition to be together. And so I struggled, but prayed about it, and that just kept ringing true in my ear. And I thought, what an opportunity I have that most people don't have, that I can go home to my mother's. We can make it our home because she's like, it's treated as a blank canvas. She gets to have company. She gets to watch us on a real way, help raise Logan. And so we put our house on the market, and we began to do a number of things to get her house ready. And, people say, oh, that's your mother. That's what you should do. You're absolutely right. And it is my reasonable service to be able to reset my life to help her set hers.
Wow.
But guess what? It's not even a bit. Now I see that the blessing was ours.
Yes.
The blessing is ours because my friends get to come here. And let me just tell you,
we love Queen Mother.
I'm convinced that has added to her life. So we're here. The boys, when I travel, they're here with her. I'm here when she gets sick, and when she's not sick, we get to laugh together, hold hands together. But more importantly, I'm not bound by things. Yes. And I bought my vision board from a while back, and one of the things, it was 2 years ago, not the one that you guys saw this year, but one of the things I talked about is financial wellness, mental health, and fitness, and closeness with my family. I had no idea making this move, resetting things would start to bring that into manifestation. Yes. And so I get to do some different things financially. I get to, I get to be closer to her. I mean, not just physically, but mentally emotionally, we talk about a little bit of everything. And not just because she's my best friend, but what a privilege it is that I get to go home to help take care of my mother. Yes. And so I really did have to reset. And at some point later, we'll talk about what that meant in terms of my career and some other things. But the truth of the matter is I get to do what many people can't do.
Yes.
And what many people won't do. And no judgment, no judgment. Yeah. But, and I have to tell you, when you shared your reset story, you talked about with your divorce and how you went home to your mother and she became your biggest cheerleader.
Yes.
And let me just tell you something. When my mother's forever asking for more cards for Grown Women Talk.
Yes.
She said, have you ever heard about the show? Blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Have you ever done that? And she's like, what do you guys need? We told her we're going to do a live taping soon. And so she's always asked. So she has become such a cheerleader and an advocate.
Our biggest
And so
right.
it is a privilege to say I really had to reset, but I had to change my thinking too. Because really, you want to talk about living your best life?
Yeah.
I'm easing right into that, baby.
This is a big deal. It's a big deal, and you say it with such eloquence, and it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. But I know how much it was for you to make the move and to make the decision, and to have your mother with you to still impart.
Yes.
To you,
Oh, that's
to
so
still
good, Kia.
impart to
Yes,
you
yes.
and to your son.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so much in our culture now, we don't have our elders in such a place anymore. But that was so important, decades ago, to have the whole family together.
Yeah, that extended family.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that we could continue to teach our legacy, to teach
so true.
our family, to teach all of that to the generations that are coming behind us. And so that's just wonderful, because I see that going on here.
I think, but I think it is important that you seek wise counsel. And, because somebody was like, I'd never give up my house. I'm like, are you kidding me? I got my life for real.
Yes.
And I heard you when you said, don't be afraid. And then when you said that your pastors at the time said, as much as you can keep your elderly with you, do that. Yeah. And I thought, my mother's 70, she's 78 now, then she was 76, 77. And I thought, you know what? I don't know what next year's going to bring. Right. But if I get the opportunity to do anything in this year and in this moment, I want to do that. So I have to tell you, it has been, it was emotionally, not necessarily a struggle, but I had been someplace else for many years. I hadn't come home.
That's right.
And again, we get tied to things and stuff. Yeah. And so
and you have an independent spirit that goes through you too.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And my father used to always say that I was fiercely independent.
Yes.
He said, you are fiercely independent.
Yes.
And but I have to tell you, I don't know what your reset is. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you're called to do. Maybe that is say goodbye to your job and start your business. Yeah. Maybe it is start something else. Maybe it is to leave what was comfortable for you. But what I know is if you do what you are called to do, you won't even be able to count the many moments and the abundance from which you will get.
Yes.
And so so that is my reset story. That is it's 5,000 to 1,700, and I don't know what yours is, but I know what mine was. And I have to tell you, not only has it changed my life, but it becomes a model for my son. If he ever has to make a decision about me or his dad, if he ever has to make a decision about me or his dad, and she could live alone, she could do this, but is that her best life?
Yes.
And why shouldn't she, even now, live her best life?
Yes.
So, so hopefully when my nieces see this and my nephews and my son see how we are walking this thing out, they'll know that it is not being afraid to hit the reset button. And so, friends, I thank you for letting me share that. I know mine was a long time coming, but I can't tell you, maybe we'll have some pictures up of some things, but even if we don't, just know that you are called to reset, and it will be the start of your best life.
That's wonderful. I think one of the secondary words that have been a part of this show since our creation, in addition to reset, but in order to reset, thank you for bringing up the fact that you have to be fearless. Mm-hmm. So we say to you all today, you guys, as you move forward and embark with us on this second year of Grown Women Talk, be fearless.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to hit the reset button and do some new things.
Yes.
Because it's incredible. It's incredible down the road. You got to see past today.
You don't just bless yourself, but you bless your household, as Andrea's talking about her son. And she ended up blessing her friends.
Yes.
And I just thank you,
Oh my
Andrea, for
gosh.
following the voice of God, the voice in
Yeah.
your heart.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
following what you knew you were assigned to do.
Yeah.
Because we get to come here and love
And
on Queen Mother.
and they love her.
Thank you for sharing
And
her.
we
Yes,
just
they
thank
love her.
God, because our mother is gone and she has been in heaven for 15 years.
Yes.
But we get to come
We do.
and
We love
behold
it.
a queenly mom
Yes.
and be loved by her. And it's so awesome
Yeah.
how she has blessed our lives. And it's only because of this wonderful lady
I'm
following
thankful.
her heart.
Yes.
Wow.
That's wonderful, you all. And so thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing with us
Yes,
today.
yes, you're welcome.
Oh, and
Thank
as we
you.
like to say here at Grown Women Talk, get ready.
Reset.
Go.
Bye.
Bye.